All right, here we are in the car, a 78 Camaro. Now, I did a little video a minute ago and showed you how to make this template for the pan, what you need to do, etc. Now, on the back of it, I cleaned it up, hit it with some weld through primer. The underneath, after this is all said and done, we're going to undercoat the whole underbody anyway. So then I came in here and I kind of cleaned this up a little bit, just give me about an inch, to where I can get a good weld. And then really after that, it's just a matter of fitting. Let me get in here a little comfortable. When you get into spots like this, it's trying to bend sideways and everything else. And then it's just fitting it in there. And a good way that I've found to do this, you don't necessarily have to have it fit perfect, because as you stitch weld it and as you spot weld it around here, you can form it and bend it to where it needs to be. It don't have to fit down in there exactly right off the bat, but it does have to be close. Just like right here, I'm going to probably start here and let me unfold this just a hair. Got a little bit too much there. See, that's like a little high over here, but I'm hitting down here. You want it generally close, so basically this corner kind of needs to come up a little bit. Just your knee and the palm of your hand, just work it a little bit. All right, I'm going to hit it with a few spot welds. And sometimes it's kind of hard. I'm going to have a few big gaps here, but I'm going to weld it in solid. So probably wouldn't hurt if I actually took some off of this, because I got space over here. If I take some off of this and we'll move it all over and it'll close this gap up. So take my sander real quick, grinder, let's take some off of that. This is where you gotta be patient. Just kind of whittle that a little bit. Try to get as close as you can. See, I could probably go a little bit more, close that gap up even a little bit more. See what happens. Alright, got the air compressor going in the back, so looks pretty good. I'm going to tack weld this around and I'm going to form it down. As I weld it, I'm going to push it down, do some dolly and hammering, and kind of show you what I'm talking about. You really kind of want to just pick a good spot, but to start, like I'm going to start right here and then work this way and then work it back and around and down. Right about there. Just a few tacks. You kind of see where you're at. Not bad. Let's go ahead and get some along this bottom. Keep your hammer close so you can. So you can just work it as you go. Just like that. Just like that. Now as we go over here, it's kind of work it a little bit. Form it as you go. Yeah, looking pretty good. It's probably going to lap a little bit back here. Not too worried about it because as you can see, they got seam sealed right here. So this is where the back of, I don't know what you want to call this, divider between the trunk and the front and your floor pans. It seams right here. This is where they connect. You take away all that seam sealer, you'll see all those spot welds. You don't have spot welds out, you can separate that. Put a new pan on here or your whole floor pan. So I'm not too worried about a lap right here or butt welding it. It's going to hang over a little bit, so I'm just going to lap weld it. Just like so. And as I work my way around the back, I'll just tap it down. Tap it down as I go. Fire. That's nice and flat all the way down through there. I ain't even really got to do any dollying and hammering. Just spot weld it. And there you have it. If you take your time, cut it out, use what you cut out as a template, form it, get it somewhat formed to the contour of what you're doing. And if it's off a little bit, like I said, you can start on one end, you can form it as you go. It's nice and smooth all the way around there. I'll go through here and finish welding this up, put a lap weld to it, or a flap wheel to it, sander. And then I'll seam seal this whole thing. And then we're going to put, as you can see over here, it's already black. We got some rust encapsulator. We're going to paint over this whole inside of this car. And after we seam seal it and everything, So that's how you do a floor panel patch. I mean, if you want to take the time to buy a floor panel, a rear seat floor pan, it'll come up to about right here where I got this welded in and seam sealed, and it'll come in and it'll tuck in along this rocker panel all the way over here, and it'll come up halfway on your ramp. But even if I did do that, I would be just cutting out the seat anyway, because I really don't want to cut out and make a lot of more work for me than I need. You know, going through here and cutting all this out and all this and up and around, that's a whole lot of welding. So if there's good metal there, leave it alone. Just cut out your rust. That's why just a quick patch pan. I got to go get that seat mounting hook and put on there and get it tacked back on there and weld this all up, and it'll be ready to go. Now I got another patch panel. It's going to be a little bit more difficult over here, and I'll do it a different way. So I'll probably flip the camera around and do some videos on that. I'm going to finish welding this up. There's nothing special about boring you with on the camera about welding this up. I'm going to stitch weld it just like I did it. And sometimes, to be real honest, this floor pan's going to be hid, it's going to be seam sealed, it's going to be undercoated. You really don't have to sit there and stitch weld this. I mean, you don't want to go continuous, but you can go 3 or 4 inches here and then 3 or 4 inches over here and over here. I mean, you can stay in one area a little bit longer. It's not an outside body part. You're not going to worry about it warping too much. Plus, there's a lot of contour here and, like, you know, some bends and some stuff to keep the structure in it from warping on you. But anyway, that was a quick floor pan. Hope it helped you guys out. Once you guys hit like and subscribe, I like doing these things for you. I haven't done them in a while. And again, like I said, when I first started out, I learned all this stuff on my own. I didn't go to school for it. I grabbed the stuff and I did it. And over the past 30 years, you know, you learn a lot of stuff. So hit like and subscribe, and leave me any comments. You got any questions? I'll be glad to answer them.